Thomas, we're just getting now Beijing reporting the highest daily new COVID cases locally in 5 months. So in terms of the numbers, they're certainly not trending into the right direction where we might see signs of a reopening. Has it surprised you, the resilience of this rebound, even with unverified reports being refuted by public health authorities, or is it just an indication of how far the selling had gone?
I mean, I personally think it's more of the latter, right? So I'm not really seeing investors moving back into Chinese equities, whether that's onshore or offshore, for the longer-term picture or even for a reopening trade, because, you know, the consensus now is that we'll get something started around March of next year. No one really knows. But, you know, you're also talking about the world's most populated country, right? So, you know, how long is that reopening process going to take? Are there going to be various stages? No one really knows. So I do think this is more of a case of short covering, particularly in offshore China at the moment. You know, I think tactically it's an interesting place to be, but as I said, I don't think really long-term investors are moving back into China at the moment, just given how much uncertainty there is in that economy.
Is Hong Kong a lower risk exposure in that play then? We certainly seem to see that in terms of the buying from mainland institutions.
I mean, it appears so, but I think also if you look at you know, offshore China, Hong Kong, it's a little bit more of a rate story. It's a little bit more of a valuation story, and it's also more of a regulatory story, right? That's kind of where this whole thing started. The ADR delisting story around some of the Hang Seng tech stocks. You know, in terms of how short the market has been on those particular names, it's obviously very difficult to gauge, but certainly there has been a lot of shorting in those names. So the short covering, higher volatility, higher beta, it certainly makes sense to be kind of moving in that direction. And also less impacted by what the actual policy and reopening is going to be in China. So that seems to be the place where the money is moving at the moment.